Japan food innovation has stepped into the second stage. Tokyo metropolitan government is really willing to increase the number of startups. So this is really, really like dynamic now.
Akiko and Hiro, thank you so much for making the time to talk to me. I'm really grateful that you were able to make this time. And I also know that things are insanely busy right now with SKS just around the corner. So I thought it's the right time to catch both of you. Um, and as SKS, it has become the food tech event to be seen at in Japan. So it'd be great to have your thoughts on what's going to happen this year and also about food tech in Japan in general. So before we get into the weeds, could both of you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got involved with SKS? Um, Hiro, starting with you, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So my name is Hiro Tanaka. I'm a CEO and the founder of the company called UnlocX. So UnlocX was founded 2 years ago in 2023 October. So what we are doing to do is we try to unlock the potential of food through technology and collective wisdom to create a prosperous future together. So our aim is really to create a food innovation ecosystem within Japan, and also we would love to connect our ecosystem to global food innovation ecosystem. So my background is briefly, I spent 20 years in high-tech sector. So where I really like understood the power of technology and the talents. But so we also see the like a very like sad momentum that Japanese technology and talents are sort of like stagnating. So over the last 20 or 30 years. So we thought how we can maximize the value of that kind of technology and talent. And then we came across the food as an intersection between technology and food. So as you may probably understand that actually food has been evolved through technologies. It's not digital, it's analog. And for example, fermentation is a traditional technologies in Japan, rooted in Japan. So when we interpret this technology and the food is actually grow together, so we can really like redefine the future food through leveraging so upcoming the latest cutting edge technologies. So therefore, so what we are really to do is we really want to bring all the innovators, change makers in one place. So where people really share ideas, share technologies, share what they can do, or even share their challenges or concerns. So this is more like so what we want to create as an ecosystem is not just a community or incubation system. It's more like a small, sort of like a new entity, new company, new corporate, or even cooperative. I don't know. So this is what we really want to create. So actually, SKS Japan is a part of our one of our initiatives, but SKS Japan is a once-year event. So where all the change makers, innovators gather from all over the world. So this is my brief introduction, and then I a little bit talking about positioning of the SKS Japan. Maybe Akiko, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, Akiko,
Okay. Okay.
over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us today. And I'm Akiko Okada. I'm an insight specialist at UnlocX, as well as I'm also one of the co-founders of UnlocX. And my background is business research. So I've been working with a consulting for a pretty long time. And my role was always to do research to, for the consultants to make a strategy for the companies. So I've been looking around like the market trend, consumer trend, and also technology trend because I was in charge of the high-tech sector, just like Hiro. So we used to work together. And well, Hiro just mentioned how we came across the food and tech. And now, since I've been doing too much on the business research, I'm now curious about more about human itself. So food and human is a very, very close relationship. But recently, maybe, I don't know, if you remember all of the food you ate for the last week, I don't know. Maybe food has been unconscious behavior these days. But when it comes to the food tech entrepreneurs, they're really, really thinking about how we can make this a food system better, or how they can make this a food experience better. So I think my role right now is to visualize or more verbalize these services or technologies more embedded to the human lives. So my research is really expanding to not just the business side or technology side, but also more cultural or humanity side. So that's my background and also my role right now.
That's fascinating. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's so integral to human existence.
Yes,
So,
yes,
so,
exactly.
so it'll be really interesting to see now how technology also is kind of adding to that and also making it more human. How has Japan's food tech scene changed from your perspective since you started looking into it?
Okay, so we first started Smart Kitchen Summit SKS Japan in 2017 after we visited Smart Kitchen Summit in Seattle 2016. So ever since then, so a lot of players have been emerging, and from large corporation to startups, and then even so recently non-directly food-related players like developers or mega bank financial
Mhm.
institutions. So on the even infrastructure companies like stepping in this space. So when we face the current situation in Japan, so in one word, so we'd like to say that Japan food innovation has stepped into the second stage. So that means, so even though the venture capital funding situation is not super favorable for the startups, however, we see more and more government public funding, like a grant. And then also even like a Tokyo metropolitan government start like supporting innovation cluster. So because Tokyo metropolitan government is really willing to increase the number of startups. So this is really, really like dynamic now. And then and then also like non-food players has actually opened up like food lab type of facilities in Tokyo and even outside Tokyo, which means so they have actually invested in the facility and then also like human resources. So therefore, when you are in Tokyo, so you see some really tangible stores, tangible cafe, tangible labs. So for food innovation, that is really amazing. So you can just go there and we can just come across really like a friends, like who is an entrepreneur and then who is a guy who is working for the large corporation and saying hello and what they're doing. Oh, we are actually connecting doing some like a joint project with startups. That kind of like innovation seeds are growing. And
Mm.
then, so from a startup point of view, so because that grant is so huge. So actually Ministry of Agriculture and the Forestry and Fishery put around 500 million USD. It's not 500 million, but so that similar level of investment grant for the startups, for the 40 startups. So which means it's on average 10 million. So this is a big, right? So therefore we see the more tangible product. So in the really like a market. So therefore there is a really like a momentum. Okay, we can taste. Let's test. Let's think about how we can deploy new product and how we can penetrate. So therefore, so currently what we are talking about is, so we see the more tangible, really like a specific products and services. So our next question is how we can cross the chasm. So to the next level. So therefore, so when we take a look at the like innovation situation from Tokyo point of view, so we see the more players. On top of that, it's not it's not the end yet. So we see similar type of momentum outside Tokyo in Hokkaido, northern part, and then also Shikoku, and then Kyushu, and then Kansai, and then also Shizuoka, all over, and also like Higashimikawa, it's a little bit like very specific, but in Japan, all over Japan, so we see the agri-food innovation ecosystem are emerging for
Mhm.
now. So it's a really exciting moment. I would really love to like say, yeah.
Okay, nice. So, what are some of the challenges that you see here within Japan's food tech space that maybe people outside of Japan don't see very obviously?
Yeah, probably there are a couple of challenges, well, maybe many challenges. So one is Japan's population portfolio. We are pretty aging society right now. So naturally, the older people do not want to change their eating behavior so much. So we see often that other countries, probably Gen Z or younger generations, are driving those adapting more digital technologies for trying something new, or more they're conscious about the environment, like climate change, etc.,
Hmm.
because they're so connected with the global the communities who are really tackling those climate issues. Um, so compared to those countries, I think here it's kind of more moderate, or maybe do not. There's some portion of the population they don't want to change so much, but at the same time, the industry thinks we need to change, and we have, of course, many issues. Like we cannot survive in this hectic climate, or we really need to do something about for the aging society. Uh, in terms of like maybe older people cannot cook so much on their own, or they need more nutritious food. Uh, and they want to avoid chronic diseases, etc. So we need food tech. We need innovation for the food. So I think one big challenge I can say is that how can we change their mind or change their behavior somehow to make the better choices for them and also for the food system entirely.
Right, right. And
Can I add one more thing? So the
yes,
key challenges
absolutely.
in Japan. So when we look at the Japan food experience, so for example, as you are the like inbound tourist foreigner, so you can really enjoy tasty food. And then if you go to the convenience stores, so you can really taste amazing sandwiches, drinks, so any food stuff, right? So many people may think, so what is the challenge in Japan? So, but I think in Japan, from like a food uh, provisioning point of view, sustainable, like a stable, tasty, and then also healthy and then cost efficient food production point of view. So Japan is super strong. So we have actually built a very successful food value chain over the last like 80 years or so. However, because the food value chain is so efficient. So it's so rigid, too rigid. Yeah, to allow newcomers to join within the value chain, right? So therefore, even though so we actually need a more sustainable or even regenerative or more personalized or more diverse choices, even though we want. So there is a still limited room for startups or even for the new business team within large organization.
Right,
So for large organization, new business team may be seen as a so new guy or not a competitor, but it's a conventional versus new business. So in Japan, our food system is so strict, so efficient. So there is really limited room. There had been limited room for newcomers to enter. But now we are seeing the different like momentum. So so we allow newcomers to join. So that's a big issue. And then also, so many people don't recognize, but the Japan food industry is really rely on import. So
right,
it's really we our import ratio to export ratio is roughly 10 to 1, 10 to 1. So yes, so we don't export, we import a lot. So therefore, food self-sufficient ratio in Japan is So on the calorie basis, it's declining. Now it's around 37, 38. And then when we include animal feed, fertilizer, and the seed, so on the weighted average, so our food self-sufficient ratio is amazingly around 10%. So this is the ultimate issue. So therefore, for us, so it's not a challenge, it's more like our aspiration. We have in mind is how we can expand, like expand the export, as well as how we can really switch the important dependent food system to more like a switching to local food production. So this is from a resilient point of view. That's really important under the circumstances of like really dividing, like polarizing. So uh, political situations, and then also like a pandemic really divided our food system. So,
Right.
but yeah, so there are so many issues we are facing. However, but we cannot change by ourselves. Therefore, we really need friends from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need to connect beyond the borders. So actually, there are more challenges. So you can touch on
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I I think the one that I really remember that really struck me last year when I listened to all the talks is that the next generation of farmers may not be enough to handle the
Yeah.
agricultural output. So it never even occurred to me that that was an issue till I listened to the talks.
Oh,
And
that's a huge
so
issue. Yeah.
yeah, so I can see how food tech really is vital to kind of achieve, as you said, self-sufficiency and also diversify the options that you have given the requirements of the population demographics. So yeah, it's a fascinating space in how you are um, carving out kind of a niche for how food tech should be in Japan. And it's a really interesting framework because w- what the requirements of every country from a food tech perspective is going to be different. And how they identify it can, like SKS Japan and what you are trying to build, has a lot of lessons for a lot of different countries. I think that's going to be a really fascinating angle. So, Hiro, what are some of the unique strengths that Japan brings to the table here in the global food tech conversation?
Yes, actually, there are a lot of things so we can leverage. So not only to the Japan situation, but also to contribute to the global key challenges. So number one is so we have a really great taste design technologies and then also ingredients development technology as well as process technologies. So which large corporation or even small medium enterprises actually have been developed over the last 100 years or so. So we really create like a really tasty complete meal type of stuff. For example, yeah, so we have a really great. We can make the like a processing food much more tasty. And then second elements is our culture and the techniques. Like fermentation is really famous. But on top of that, so we have a soybean processing eating culture.
Hmm.
So and then also we have a seaweed eating culture. So when we take a look at the global market, so we see the more and more consumption increase on beans and then also seaweed or algae. So Japan has been actually eating a lot of these things. However, in Japan, so the production of these things are declining. So, but we really have a really distinctive knowledge on eating really sustainable or even regenerative ingredients. So now, so I think we have a really great knowledge and wisdom and then even techniques to really export to the global market. So oftentimes when people say Japan food like sushi, tempura, ramen is really it's also very strong, but we actually have a really a deep and then bread like deep and broad knowledge in terms of the food culture. And then third one is a power of chef. So we have a really like a distinctive chefs network, and then also talents pool. So they are really good at re-engineering the food. So if they import it and they make it much more delicious, and then also last two stuff is one is a diversity of the food culture. So we have 47 prefectures. In each prefecture, we have a really diverse, different cuisine, local cuisine. So Japan has been selected as a UNESCO because of the diversity of the food culture. So therefore, when you come to Japan, so you can taste really great food, not just within Tokyo, but outside Tokyo too. And then, so last but not least, so Japan is well known for the like advanced social issue country, such as declining population, and
Mm-hmm.
then also, yeah, and single household increasing. So we expect to have the more than 35% households will be single by 2035 or so. So based on that social demographic composition, so we believe that Japan can really like provide any like new way of innovation, so to really align with changing social demographic.
So given the startups that you have right now expanding in the food tech space, are they more focused on solving issues within Japan itself, or are they also looking at more global issues? Because I think some of them also have a footprint outside of the country.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. So actually, both. So simultaneously. So
Mm-hmm.
for example, food waste, reducing food waste. So let's shift more like toward upcycling, and then also, so we really so cope with like protein crisis. So how we can secure regenerative, sustainable animal industry, and then as well as climate change, and then even like a longevity topic. Really like same all over the
Right,
world. Yeah.
right,
And then at the same time, so we really need to really work on like how we can tackle that emergent urgent challenges like food security issues, as well as you mentioned, not only farmers but also actually like a food manufacturer, food makers, like a shoyu brewery or miso brewery. So they are actually extincting, so like vanishing over the last 50 years. So number of the miso brewery went to one third, and then shoyu, soy sauce brewery goes down like one tenth, so one fifth. So we really need to really solve that problem at simultaneously. So therefore, but that kind of situation may applicable even for the like country like Italy or Spain, so where diverse like food culture are
mm-hmm.
existent, and also a lot of local producers are existent. So therefore, even though so there are clearly like a global common theme, like clear issues. So okay, let's think about that. So for many players, so working with a global issue is still it's a cost, but
Right.
how we can make it more like from cost to like creating new values. So we need to really collaborate and then share ideas together. But at the same time, so we can solve Japan's problem, but not only applicable for Japan, but also maybe the success case uh, in Japan may be exportable to other regions. So how we can really like uh, rejuvenate so local economy through food innovation. This topic can be
Right.
applied even outside Japan, right? So that's a
Yes.
kind of, yeah. So everything should go at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Akiko, given that there is a both an external viewpoint and an internal viewpoint for food tech and how it's growing in Japan, what do you think some of the major global trends are that are growing in Japan?
So healthy food, nutritious food, or more the food to relax, or
Hmm.
the food
Yeah.
to for your better wellness are always kind of top the needs when people see the value of the food. And I think a lot of the startups or even the large corporations, they usually the one of the the major pillars of their strategy is making a healthy food, or contributing for the people's health. So that's the that's a topic we also pursue as Japan. Some are already needs kind of new tech, but some are already in our tradition. We already have uh,
Yeah.
that kind of eating style or eating preference. We prefer for the balanced food. What we've been discussing a lot these days about um, regenerative food system and about regenerative food. So, for example, upcycling food. So we use some part of the vegetables we don't use to for the manufacturing, and they bring it and make in a new food from those kind of food waste. So that's upcycling food. Is I think it's really getting a momentum here. Um, Even the ordinary people already aware of that kind of movement is happening already. And even though we've been doing that kind of things, we making like tsukemono, like pickles, for a long, long time, and we were trying to use all of the vegetables or fruit, all of the parts, even from long time ago. But I think Japan is one of the top 3 biggest food waste producer. I think in globally, we are
Really?
so much food. Well, just Hiro mentioned like we have really, really rigid food supply chain. And if you go to the convenience store, you can buy anything you want all the time, 24 hours and 365 days. That means they really kind of throw in some part. They
Right.
buy it, right? So that's what we cannot ignore for that. So
Right.
I think regenerative food or regenerative food system. So that kind of a concept, I think it came from the abroad, and I think it's discussed a lot in the Europe,
Mm.
or maybe even the Climate Week right now in New York. And we try to understand that's a very, very important, and we need to install that concept even into the industrialized system, or even in a retail system at this moment. So one of the startup is we know is a Astra Food Plan. They will come to SKS Japan. So
Okay.
what they do is that they work with Yoshinoya Gyudon restaurant. I think the beef rice ball. I think maybe for the it's popular everywhere, even
Hmm.
outside Japan. So they work with this the biggest beef ball chain, and they use a lot of onion, and some parts they don't use, and they take those onion materials, and then they make it the powder with their very, very special equipment and the machinery, and then they can they made super, super strong um smell scent of the onion. It really tasty, and that kind of onion powder can be used for the other uh, new food products. So that upcycling, the startups that's growing for Japan, I think the examples, I think.
Yeah, that's great. That would be really interesting to cover as well, because upcycling kind of went up a few years ago, and then just conversation around it kind of disappeared, because I think in some places people also found that consumers were a little hesitant to consume anything that they thought of as waste. So the education on that needs to really become stronger.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hiro, sorry, you were about to say something.
Yes, actually, so when we take a look at Japan, like a history, as well as like technology within large corporations, so there are mostly like most of the key technologies are there within Japan, I think. And then even it's like upcycling can be really like uh, has been done through hakko over the last more than 1,000 years. So fermentation is more like a very traditional upcycling technologies. So right.
Right.
So yeah, and then even like food is medicine or food as medicine, food as health has been actually like a normal or like a complete meal is really usual for Japan. So we are actually really good at making a balanced food. So so but what I see as really like a challenge or also some like so learning we get from outside Japan is that so Japan is not very good at creating like a momentum or creating a story. We have been doing most of the really sustainable, regenerative, or tasty and balanced food experiences from the history point of view. But so we haven't necessarily created a sort of like a methodology. So to demonstrate our knowledge as a sort of like a penetratable wisdom, right? So therefore, I really feel that when we start communicating with global food-related food innovators, many people see that, wow, you guys have really great, amazing stuff. But recently, so what I see is, so like in US, for example, so Whole Foods Market publish so 10 like latest food innovation, trend. And we see many Japanese ingredients, yuzu or like soba. So therefore, so it's not a global issue or global trend, but so why we really wants to collaborate with global food innovation ecosystem is so we can really like reimagine the power of food culture, food technique, food technology, so rooted in Japan. So that's one like aspect. So we really need to collaborate with global players. So we strongly believe we have a lot of technologies or techniques or cultures which can contribute to solve global food challenges as well as to create a better well-being lifestyle through food. So but we as Japanese by ourselves cannot maybe do it alone. So therefore, we really need to share ideas, so show respect with each other. So that's a whole like mindset I really wants to
Mm,
create
yeah.
through SK Japan and then our community. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I was gonna ask you about the importance of collaboration, but you already answered my
Oh
question.
yes, yes,
So
yeah,
that's great. Yeah. That makes sense. These are all global problems, and we need to work together to solve them as a single
yes,
community rather
yeah,
than look at it as that's not my problem, that's somebody else's problem.
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
um, okay. So about SKS Japan this year. What are both of you most excited about? Akiko, would you like to go first?
Yes, well, so hard to pick one or two about the highlights, because we are organize so many agenda like sessions, exhibitions, or pitch events, or share out, uh, so many activities, and but one big message from us is that, so the theme for this SKS Japan 2025 is singular visions and collect impact, unlock and co-create. So that's the phrase for this SKS Japan this year. So singular visions, which means a big, super big, the visions. Let's bring your vision together and please share and please speak up about what you really want to do, or even your challenges or the issues or the hurdles you have right now. So how can we make it real all together? So that's what we really want to achieve within the 3 days. So we have so many sessions. Well, I want to say so many. We have this speakers, or we have this themes, or so many things. Well, you can really check the website and watch those agenda and also speakers. But what we really ask the speakers what to say during the sessions, please inspire the audience and please speak up your own visions, because visions really unite all of the people and inspire, and also that's kind of engine of all the movement we should create all together. And one beautiful thing about the SKS Japan is this is really, really international. So there's so many speakers from the outside of Japan, but we see the different cultures, but probably visions are the kind of very common. And so that part we can collaborate and we can give our strengths and they can give us their strengths, and then we can go more move forward. So please prepare to listen to so many visions from over 100 speakers. Maybe it's very overwhelmed, but maybe not just one, or maybe many friends you can make during this event. That's from me.
What about you, Hiro?
Yes. First of all, so this year, so our completely new initiative we triggered is a concept of Japan Food Innovation Week.
Mhm.
So last year, we have discussed with some like friends within the community that maybe for the global audience, so there are actually emerging some like food innovation related conferences in Japan around autumn. But having that conference, so 1 month after another, is really costly and then taking some time. So therefore, we actually agreed to put some conferences in within 1 week. So from 22nd of October to 30th October, so we actually so far have 4 conferences related to the food innovation. So one is SKS Japan, one is Regeneration, which is like coordinated by Future Food Institute, Sara Roberusi, and the Tokyo Tatemono Tokyo Food Institute.
Mhm.
And another one is on Sunday, 26th. Oh, by the way, Regeneration gonna be 28th and 29th. This is also like Regenerative in Action conference, right? And then also we have a Food and Agri-Tech Youth Summit, operated by Tokyo Agriculture Engineering University and the CIC on Sunday. So this is for younger innovator event. And then amazingly on Monday evening, so we gonna have another conference, so operated by Wired. So the topic will be provided officially soon, but we also have another food related conference. So by having that, so it's more like we really wants to make end of October as a time to visit Japan. So if we really want to do something together around food innovation or agri-food innovation with Japanese players, so you should come at the end of the August to Japan. So that's one thing we really want you to experience. And then on top of that, on top of Japan Food Innovation Week, and then also the agenda, etc., Akiko mentioned. So this year, so we really put the high importance on even food experience. So we have about 50 exhibitions within the whole, and then also even in town, we have like 20 tables and the 5 food trucks. So where you can taste cutting edge, really tasty Japanese food innovation food. From sweets to like noodle and hamburger, anything. And then also we also planning to have the future food court. So where we can taste some refreshment, but all from food innovators. So I don't know. So I'm really a little bit afraid of like participants may gain weight after spending 3 days, but because they are cutting edge like new food, maybe people may be more healthy. So, so seeing is a believing, but eating is a believing. So therefore, this time SKS Japan. So yeah, everybody at the conference are waiting for you guys to come to Tokyo Nihonbashi on like 23 to 25. And then you will really touch and feel the cutting edge, most innovative food all over the world, and then most passionate and then engaging friends all over the world around the food and the vegetables. This is where what SKS Japan can provide, or also what you can experience at SKS Japan. That's what I want to, yes, share with you guys.
Amazing. I'm really excited. I'm going to be there in
Oh,
person this
great.
time.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
I'm
Yes.
really excited. I also have over the next couple of weeks, which means I have to lose weight so I can come back and put it on again. So, so I'm really excited to be
Yes,
covering this. I'm very excited to be actually coming to Japan to do this in person. Like
yes,
you
please.
said, the experience is just going to be phenomenal, and we're looking forward to sharing this with all of our readers and
Yeah.
viewers and listeners. Thank you so much, both of you, and I hope to see you in Japan.